I am Balachandar. I represent Amrita Vishwa Vidyapitham, CAR department. Today we are going to see something on interview skills and the groundwork required to prepare for interviews. By the end of this session, you will be conversant with the preparation required for attending interviews in a professional way and details about the preparation which will take you to do a better performance in an interview. Let's move on. In an interview situation, particularly a job interview, the spotlight is on you. Means what? You are going to be the focus of attraction and attention for the interviewers. Most important thing which all of us know, but not much of importance is given in this. What is that? I would say it's the first impression. Many of us know that first impression matters a lot when it comes to a job interview, but the point is few only make the best out of it, as it is believed that you have only once to make a first impression, because you do it the second time, it is the second impression. How it happens? What does it mean as a first impression? When it begins? Maybe on the first contact, be it in person or by a letter or also by an email or by a telephone also. You must understand research on this. The research says that within 7 seconds, a first impression happens. What does it tell us? Very impressive. It means that we need to make a good first impression in the first opportunity given. For that, we need to have an excellent preparation before attending an interview. Let's see how one can prepare for interviews. For that, we need to ask some of the questions which are required, like, do I have the proper skills? Is this the type of work I like? Am I familiar with the type of job functions the prospective employer does? And are there opportunities for advancement for me in my career path? If you start asking all these questions, you will find answers. If all the questions you find an answer, obviously you stand a better chance in that interview. Interview is what? Interview happens between two people minimum, looking at each other and viewing each other to know each other better. That's the meaning of the word interview. How to prepare for your interviews? The key is to reply for the primary question TMAY. Means what? Tell me about yourself. For giving a perfect reply to the question TMAY, which is, I believe, as the mother of all questions, your reply should be impressive in the time available, and most important, remember that it is the time, the position, you favorably in the minds of the interviewer. To move further, we need to understand what is that you need to know about yourself. Probably many a times people are prepared with this, that is the strengths. What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? One side, we need to know how well I can use those strengths to my advantage, and if you are using it, you should be able to express this in an interview situation. And also we need to know something on our weaknesses. Should we have to play that high or low is highly subjective. I would strongly recommend play high on your strengths and play low on your weaknesses. Means what? We need to have a good understanding of both at the same time, not express everything about your weakness and probably promote yourself talking about your strengths. That's the smartest way. Let's move on to understand. For this, further mapping of yourself is required. I would say knowing yourself in all probable way will make you better candidate in the eyes of the interviewer. You may as well talk about your family in a very brief, for a brief moment. You can talk about your the role model or even those who have been influential in your life till your education or even further up. And very important, your long-term vision and long-term goals also matter a lot, because this helps the interviewer to judge you what kind of an attitude you have, and how long you plan to stay in an organization, and what are your career goals, which are the skill sets which are matching with the organizational goals. These things will definitely take you much higher in the minds of the interviewer. Furthermore, I would also suggest that one need to have a neat mapping of three topmost competencies also. I would say the first one is, as a fresher, if you take as a fresher, if you are attending an interview, this is very important. Means academic competency is what holds the key. Which is your favorite subject? What do you mean by academic competency? Let's understand it. Probably in the coming slides we will know about it, but still I would say the favorite subject should be the first thing you should talk when you are asked or given a choice to speak on your academic competency. The second one is your extra academic competency. Means what? How much effort you put to know something beyond what your curriculum or curricula offers. This is what defines a good candidate who has come with a lot of preparation for an interview, because every employer will always look at the candidate who can run that extra mile, who can do something beyond what they are supposed to do, and this will definitely build a good image in the minds of the interviewer. And the last one is your mapping of personal competencies. We all know about it. Let's see in the coming slides about all these things. What are my academic competencies? Prepare yourself, putting your thoughts in a chronological order. Means, I would say if a grad is a mechanical student, say, he has to say that how he had picked the interest of being a mechanical engineer right from his school days. Quite possible, right? One can be motivated by looking at a new two-wheeler or a hi-fi car, or someone had inspired, or even a small electronic device which was used while they were using appliance even. So this can be a motivating factor at a very early age that has made someone to choose a kind of path of engineering or any other field. So I would say that you should know how to start. That's why we mentioned this word chronological order, where from you had an interest developed towards whatever you are studying, or you studied, or you pursued as your career. The second one is, in this preparation you need to have the richness or the level of competence you have acquired in that particular domain. To definitely tell you, a secret is you may have studied some 15 or 16 or even 20 core papers in whatever branch you are studying. Nevertheless, none of you may be very thorough with all the 20 or 14 or 15 core papers. So what does it tell you? You should be thorough with at least 3 to 4 passionate papers. That means these passionate papers, one should be able to talk without anyone's help, or they should be able to go to the level of even having conducted a seminar, presented a paper. And these kind of competencies are definitely required to express, and this comes only if you have love in that subject. So these are to be selected by you before you attend an interview, and this should be planned as given a choice. If you are given some time to talk, what are your competent areas, which are your favorite subject, these things should be coming out very naturally from you, so that the impression is created about you in a very, very positive way. And the other thing is, what kind of knowledge enhancement happened in you when you were doing your course or curriculum along with whatever you are supposed to read. And the progress you had shown, maybe in terms of CGPA or percentage or the class or the distinction, all these things matters. All these things put together, we call it as my or your academic competencies. To move further, we need to know about the second point which we discussed. What are my extra academic competencies? What are they? They are the proficiency and the skill development which are very close to the area of core area of whatever you have been studying in your college, which were associated with as a skill development which happened. The certifications from open source learning or learning platforms like NPTEL and SWAYAM, and of course the other sources like edX or Coursera or Udemy. All this, whatever you do, are definitely going to help you. This is called as extra academic competency. And why you should do all these things? These will definitely impress an employer and make them understand that you are ready, as I told you, to move further and go that beyond your academic curriculum to earn or gain some skill which is not actually given in the curriculum. So definitely this would make a very huge impression about you in the mind. And next one is your personal competencies. Maybe many of us may not know how to put forth the personal competencies, how they get confused with strengths. I would say personal competencies are your attitude, right? What are the qualities which you think you are apt for the job? Some words like I'm cheerful, I'm highly enthusiastic, I'm a team player, I'm proactive and easily approachable, I am a thinker, creative thinker, and I help others, and very dynamic, I'm expressive, I am an extrovert. All these kinds of words, instead of just telling I'm a hard worker, think how you can even make a sentence, say I'm enthusiastic and cheerful. That has helped me to be a part of any presentation or seminar which was asked to be presented in a very short period of time. And I'm also approachable, means you can say, making a statement, I'm approachable, that's the reason my friends count on me for any learning. So this is how you have your personal competencies expressed in a very pleasing way. So that again helps you to promote yourself in a very positive way, right? And furthermore, if you need to expand on this, you can even say that I am flexible, because you can also say that people who are flexible can better adapt to challenges or changes on the job environment and take more responsibilities on the workplace, and which is, of course, the flexibility is one key, because today no job function remains static, it's dynamic. So only a flexible and adaptable person would be able to face the challenges and be and move with the challenges which are required, which is a prerequisite today. And the second one I would say here again is a commitment. So you can say that you are committed and you have exhibited whenever there is an opportunity, and it was well appreciated by your staff, your teachers, your college professors for that matter. In whatever role you do, you are committed to see that you do the job towards finishing or completing it successfully. And the employers prefer keeping these type of people with them, because committed people will never quickly quit, or they are not job movers. Because one of the biggest weakness of every HR, if you ask me, I have also done some HR functions where I would always love to have less people being interviewed, because I don't want to lose good hands. So keeping a turnover low is always an objective of a good employer. So a committed person is always preferred. Again, I repeat. Next one I would say is a competent person. A competent employee is one who fully understands his or her job functions and can contribute to the company's successes. And you can best demonstrate your competency during interviews by relating your experience with the available job functions, whatever you did in your academic curriculum or college. So this again proves that you are a competent person. And the further details also, like I also work for certain things which have given me recognition. And during an interview, you also can comment about the awards and accolades and achievements, whichever has been backed by you during your academics. Again, that's going to build an impression or image very positively about you. And the last one is impactful. How impactful you were when you were a student, or probably the previous company also. Why only I should limit it to the student? So even in the employee's previous place of work, what you did and how impactful your work was. You can give details about this also. These are all coming under the category of personal competencies. Now, to sum up, let's understand how to go about in understanding what are the do's and don'ts. The first one is, some do's are Sell yourself and your skills, right? Be sincere and enthusiastic. Use sense of humor if you have it. Don't try to be unnatural. At the same time, let the employer know what and where and how you would contribute or work. Okay? And the don'ts are, don't talk negatively about anywhere, any place. Don't talk bad about your school, your college, or institution. Never talk about the project which you are involved in. Say something bad about your colleagues or teammates. These are all to be avoided, I would say, because this is again, I would say, is an attitude issue. So if I am an employer, I will look at you as a person who always thinks that he or she is right and doesn't really appreciate the problem or doesn't have a view about others positively. So this is a kind of poor empathizing personality. So we need to have good empathetic skills. And one more thing is, do not blow over your own trumpet for a longer period of time, right? Whenever there is an opportunity, talk about yourself positively. Whenever there is not required, whatever is not required, don't do that. Don't say something which is unwanted. And the most important, sometimes, many times, I feel that people talk about the salary too much. Play low. Never say that I don't want salary, right? All of us work for salary. At the same time, don't say I'll settle only for this. Don't show your greediness. The ideal way is, I have gone through all your reports and I have done a kind of research about the people who have been already on board, and I have done homework before attending. I know how much you pay, and that's the reason I'm here to attend this interview. This will convince the person that you are agreeing, and that's the reason for you to have been present as a candidate there. So don't specify a salary, particularly a number is best to be avoided. Never say a number. You can always say whatever is convenient for mutually agreeable, I would be able to definitely agree on that, right? Handle with care, that's the bottom line. Few more, we need to understand that you need to practice a lot. Probably if you practice, then probably you know that after some time you would definitely lead the interview. You would take charge of the interview by telling more about you, and whatever the interviewer wants to know, you definitely keep talking about. For that, you need not be overbearing. Tell the information whatever you know about yourself, emphasizing your education, your skills and experience. Sometimes it also happens that tell me about yourself is one question, after that there is no question even, and it goes on and on, right? You may be the 42nd candidate on that day. All these things are possible. So you need to understand how long. Someone asked me that how long I can talk for a question, tell me about yourself. I would say as long as the next question comes. I don't know. So these are all the ways you need to prepare. Probably you need to have a 3-minute or 4-minute presentation ready when you talk about yourself, right? And maybe finding a right match is what always the company as well as the interviewer and you are doing. And if you are finding that that is the right company, and by your speech or by your presentation and by your communication, if you prove that you are the right person or the right match, then done. You are going to be absorbed by the company. And think about how you can change your answers also. Probably every time you need to answer related to the question. This is very important, because there is nothing called a question bank when it comes to interviews. They would ask probable questions, and you also go with a probable, ideal, acceptable answer. So you should know that how you can adapt your answers expecting. This is what you call it as being proactive before attending interviews. And last, not the least, if you don't get a job, don't give up. Keep trying, because the world is full of opportunities. It's not the only interview. It's one among those interviews which says every interview, I would say, is an opportunity for you to have learned something to make you better, to perform better in the next interview. And weigh your options, make a list of pros and cons, and the jobs, whatever related, you can probably prefer later on. And if you get the job, fine. If you don't get, keep trying, as I told you. With this, few more tips are there, and we need to understand if something has to be done beyond this, always we are open. You can shoot a mail to us. We'll give you the contacts later. Thank you very much. Wishing you good luck. All the best for your career. Namaste. Namah Shivaya.